Hi everybody, this is Everyday Commentary, and this is a video overview of this knife. And this knife is the Spyderco Efficient. It is an 8CR 13MOV knife. It's from China and runs G10 scales. It's a liner lock, and it's basically in the same line as like the Techno, or not the Techno, the Tenacious, and the new knife in this budget line, the Polestar. This knife is much more ergonomic, in my opinion, than the other knives. It has a pronounced finger index notch here, and it has a half-and-half finger choil, giving you great purchase on the knife. The blade is actually quite tall, but because it's a liner lock, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. They have an internal stop pin, which is kind of crazy on a knife that's cheap, and it allows you to get a lot of blade in a very narrow package, especially because, like the Native, the thumb hole is buried really deep. There's no hump here, and so the end result is they have to put this big scoop, and the big scoop is actually kind of a boon, because as your hand wraps around, it kind of goes down and then in, and it holds it nice and tight. The other thing that it does is, in addition to accentuating the grip, it allows you to have nice, easy access to the lock bar, which is something that I've found to be an issue on some Spyderco knives, such as the Rubicon. I handled a Rubicon in a store, and it was super nice, and the CF was really cool, but I just couldn't deal with the fact that I kind of had to wedge my finger in and then push it over in order to get the knife to close. But this knife doesn't do that. And so what you have here is you have a knife with a back spacer, the standard spoon style pocket clip. Pretty basic materials, but the ergonomics are really good. One of the things that I dinged the Tenacious for was it was sort of a Spyderco by numbers design. They took all of the essential elements of a Spyderco, they put them together, and they said, oh, here's our budget knife. But it seemed to me to lack the soul of a Spyderco. And for me, the soul of a Spyderco is good ergonomics. And this knife has it in spades. This knife is a really great knife in the hand. It's a decent knife in the pocket. It's probably a little heavier than it needs to be because of this metal back spacer. But overall, the fit and finish is extremely nice. I mean, if you can see, let's see if we can get it. Look at that. I mean, like, everything here is flush. It's finger flush, but it's not exactly fingernail flush, but it's close. This is a piped lanyard tube, which is pretty nice. The jimping here is good. There's no exposed tang in the closed position. As you can see, this is a nice rounded edge. Everything here has been gone over by hand. And unlike some of the Tenacious line knives that I've handled, the feel of the edge of the G10 is really nice. I mean, it's not exactly chamfered, but it is definitely rounded over, maybe radiused, as opposed to just being, you know, ground down a little bit. But whatever they did, they give you a really nice feel. My only real ding on this knife is that it sort of has like a droopy blade shape. So, you know, I would kind of like it to be a little bit higher, just give it a little more visual flair. As it is, it kind of seems like the whole thing is a little wilted. But what you lose in like a smidge of looks, you gain in performance, and you gain in ergonomics, and you gain in carry. I love this knife. This is the first of the 2017 Spydercos that I got a handle on, and if this is a herald of what is to come, they're going to have a good year, because this is a good knife. And I've used it quite a bit. You can see here. Let's see. There's some scratches on the blade. It's got a little marks here. It's actually showing up pretty good on the camera, but there's some wear marks here, and I used it to process a bunch of cardboard, and I used it to do like fire prep stuff, and it did really well. So overall, I'm very pleased. I wish this would have been the first of the Tenacious series knives. It would have been more exciting than the sort of paint by numbers Tenacious, ambitious, persistence, blah blah that we got. This is a very good knife, and it just happens to be a cheap knife, which means that it's probably an excellent knife. I'm really pleased with the Efficient, and I'm looking forward to other Spydercos that are coming out. Just in case you're one of those fidgety people, once you get this knife to break in a little bit, and I put some nano oil as I do on almost all of my knives, it gets flippable smooth. You can pop it out. One last thing, kind of reminds me of the Rat the Ontario Rat, and it has this deep curve here. But unlike the Rat and the Rat 2, this curve actually fits your fingers as opposed to just looking like it fits your fingers. So the pop in the liner lock, the rounded over handles, and this deep index notch here make me think a lot about the Rat and the Rat 1, which aren't my favorite knives, but I know some people like them. Let me give you a little bit of size comparison. So you want to see the knife. This is the mini grip. This is the mini grip 550 HG. I think it's the 555. No, it's the 555 HG, and they're about the same size. I think the blade on this guy is just a smidge longer than the blade on the Benchmade, but as you can see, the blade here is much wider. In the full flat grind, you get some serious slicing abilities. Let me show you next to one of my favorite knives of all time, the Spyderco Dragonfly. You can see this knife is substantially larger than the Dragonfly. Put them pivot to pivot, and you can see it's bigger in the blade and it's bigger in the handle. And, you know, one of the things that I love about the Dragonfly is even though I have medium-sized hands, I can get all 4 fingers on this knife. And you can get all 4 fingers on this knife pretty comfortably, even if you had big hands. But it's just, it's like a little trick of engineering here. And as you can see, this knife has a little bit more of a upped point. So I like the Efficient a lot, but it's not the Dragonfly, which is an all-time great. This is a really good knife, though, so I don't want to take away from Spyderco, and I don't want to take away from the knife. If you get this knife and you're looking for like a beater, or if you're getting this knife and you're looking for your first real Spyderco, you're not going to be disappointed. This is a good knife. This is the overview of the Spyderco Efficient. Look for the review coming soon.